Welcome, and thank you for joining us today. Feel free to use the chat function to ask any questions or submit feedback. My coworkers should be able to respond while I present the PowerPoint slides. And at the end, we will also have time for questions and feedback. Our topics today will include, of course, the introduction, goal, property owner role, what to look out for, best practices, and of course, time for questions and feedback at the end. Our housing team program here at Environmental Health, it includes Helen Godinez, our supervisor, myself, Eris Veloso, and fellow inspectors, James Tanner, Stephen Lowe, and Maria Gomez Casillas. Also helping support this presentation today is our coworker, Cynthia Knowles, and our consultant from SGA, Michelle Struthers. As most of you know, this division here at San Mateo County Environmental Health is responsible for the enforcement of state housing codes in the areas of interior and exterior maintenance, sanitation, occupancy standards, and that the multi-unit 4 or more rental properties are subject to routine housing inspections by our division, and we do assess the annual fee as set by county ordinance. So most of what we use, I know it's a lot up there, but we focus mainly on Title 24 and a variety of its subsections. We also refer to International Property Maintenance Code, the California Health and Safety Code, plus everything else listed on the screen. I won't read them all off to you, but we also assist the fire department in enforcing some of their requirements from the fire code when it comes to things like fire extinguisher requirements, fire doors, adequate egress, having smoke detectors, and carbon monoxide detectors. We defer to the fire department with issues of fire safety. When it comes to structural safety, we also can defer to the San Mateo County Planning and Building Department. And of course, any of the local city planning and building departments within the incorporated area. Our office is the agency having jurisdiction for the California Health and Safety Code. We do not have regulations regarding aesthetics, but we enforce strictly function and safety of the building. So all year round, the inspections of apartment complexes are being conducted. We inspect for health and safety violations. Our housing team is all over San Mateo County. We each have different areas, different cities, but we help cover for each other. So inspections is definitely one of the main functions that we perform, but we also like to provide outreach through our mailers, through information on our website, and presentations like this one. We're hoping that our educational efforts will help the apartment owners and operators to better meet California housing standards. So we encourage you and want to partner with you in ensuring that your property is safe, maintained, ready for inspection by reviewing some of the most common violation categories today during the presentation, and that any of these could be corrected ahead of time. It is our practice to knock on at least 10% of the building doors to receive any concerns, comments, questions, or complaints regarding the tenant's housing. If we're able to meet and greet and chit chat with them, that's great. If no one answers the door, we keep on going. So our goal is to have safe buildings that meet or exceed state minimum standards. In turn, these safe buildings will help keep the family safe. So it's better to be safe, proactive, and implement best practices. We definitely recommend doing your own site inspections just to stay current and aware of any issues that need to be worked on. So please avoid postponing needed repairs, such as structural damage that's visible in these pictures on the screen. So to avoid violations, best practice, correct any potential issues before your inspection. Be proactive about the building maintenance and its upkeep. Being proactive will help you avoid most of the common violations that we come across. Staying on top of issues as they arise will result typically in less violations being issued, definitely a safer property, and in turn, safer tenants, and also the life of your asset should be extended. I'm happy to report that in these photos here, the property owner was very quick in getting the garage door and the fence repaired and returned back to normal. As mentioned earlier, be proactive, do your own site inspections, be sure to walk around the property, check on the conditions of the property, the buildings, the structures. It's good to stay current and updated. Know what's going on with your property. So, general exterior maintenance. For this particular category, a lot of the issues that we come across would be failure to maintain the surrounding property free of debris, inoperable vehicles, appliances that are no longer able to be used. Sometimes we come across rodent harborages, stagnant water, or other conditions that could pose a fire, health, or safety hazard. So that was general exterior maintenance. There's also faulty weather protection. There's also safety in general. Let's see, structural safety and inadequate vermin or pest exclusion. So with each of these general categories, I know I went through some examples for the first one, but we'll go through more examples on the next few slides. And some of these, you're going to see some specific examples that could fall into one or more of these general categories. The general categories, again, being general exterior maintenance, faulty weather protection, safety, structural safety, and the last one, inadequate vermin or pest exclusion. You'll see that some of these could fall into one or more. All right, general exterior maintenance. We talked about how there could be failure to maintain the surrounding property free of debris, inoperable vehicles, vehicles improperly used as storage. I've got some photos for you, such as leaking pipes. What else? The fire extinguisher cabinet. It could be locked. There could be no key. There could be no tool, which would allow access to the fire extinguisher in case of an emergency. In the last photo here, we see stagnant water. That could be a harborage for insects or pests, such as mosquitoes. So definitely keep up with that. That way, it won't pose a threat. Make sure that the water is properly disposed of. Make sure you have a key or tool to access the fire extinguisher in case of an emergency. And leaking pipes, well, that's pretty straightforward. Have the repair person fix it so that it's no longer leaking. All right. Other faulty weather protection. That's the next category, faulty weather protection. Some of the examples or issues that we come across in this particular category would include deteriorated or peeling exterior paint, faulty weatherproofing of exterior walls or the roof, the foundation, the windows or doors. We don't want any of those to leak or to allow inclement weather or water intrusion. Inadequate weather stripping, improperly sealed building penetrations, whether these penetrations be for piping, wiring, or vents, those need to also be properly sealed. In this particular picture, you can see there's an issue with a broken window. There's an issue with peeling paint. In some cases like this, either the portion that needs repair or work, it could be replaced. Like in some cases, they'll get a whole brand new garage door and install it. Or in some cases, they'll just choose to repair the existing garage door. At least there's options. Now for the category of safety, some of the issues that we come across would include lack of a properly maintained fire safety equipment, such as a smoke detector or a fire extinguisher, and or carbon monoxide detectors. Sometimes we'll see unit exterior doors that are blocked and unable to be used in case of emergency egress that's needed. Sometimes other avenues like walkways, balconies, or balcony walkways are blocked with stuff preventing emergency egress. In this particular photo, you'll see that the hot water heater is lacking a temperature pressure relief piping, specifically the one in the middle. It's got the temperature pressure relief valve, but no discharge piping attached to it. You gotta have that. Also noticeable in this photo is that the braces for the hot water heaters, there's not enough. Typically this size would need at least 2 braces to keep it secure in case of a possible turnover or falling over during seismic activity or an earthquake. We talked a little bit about the fire extinguishers earlier. Some things we check for are they in a proper cabinet? Is the cabinet in good condition? Is it accessible? Stuff like that. So with the fire extinguishers, remember they should be certified annually or purchased within the past 12 months and properly charged. And when it comes to the temperature pressure relief valve piping on a hot water heater, one thing to look for is that the opening of that discharge piping is within 6 inches above grade to no more than 2 feet above grade. There are also specific requirements as to the location of the discharge piping opening. The next category we have here is structural safety. Some of the issues that we come across when it comes to structural safety include unsecured, damaged hand and guardrails, damaged walkways, damaged supports for balconies, walkways. What else? Damaged stairways. Sometimes the steps are in disrepair. In this particular photo, you can see how there's cracks in the exterior walls. In the middle photo, you can see how one of the handrails is not securely in place. And in the third photo, here we can see that the concrete walkway is broken. So much to see out there. Always something new every day. In this next category, inadequate vermin and pest exclusion. Some of the examples that we come across would include holes and damage to windows and doors, holes and damage to vents or screens. Sometimes there's an accumulation of junk, trash, or debris. Sometimes we've got tree limbs and branches within 3 feet of the unit roof. Here we've got some photos for some specific examples. Like in the first picture here, we see that the tree limbs are touching the roof. Vermin like rats, mice, they could probably climb up the tree and onto the roof and get access to the property. So we always recommend trimming that back to prevent that from happening. In the middle picture, right off the bat, there's a hole in the wall. Down towards the bottom, we can see a drying machine exhaust vent cover is not properly installed. Even the self-closing mechanism doesn't look like it's working properly. Other vermin or pests could enter the building through that exhaust vent piping. In the third picture, the access panel is pretty damaged. Vermin and pests could gain access into the building walls through there as well. So those were all the not so good photos. Now let's move on to best practices. So for the category of general exterior, we recommend maintain the surrounding property free of debris and inoperable vehicles. Sometimes people use vehicles improperly as storage. We definitely write that up and try to educate that should not be used for that purpose. An accumulation of junk, trash, and debris on the property or on the sidewalkways of the property or the backyard. Yeah, that should be properly disposed of and not be allowed to accumulate. So next, we've got some photos for you. In the first picture, you can see this property looks pretty well maintained. No accumulation of junk or trash. In the next photo, we see the paint is good. The doors are good. The steps, they're all there. The guardrails, they're all there. It looks well maintained. It's better to keep the property neat and in good repair. Best practices for weather protection. The roof definitely keeps the rain out, prevents moisture intrusion. Rain gutters and downspouts, they should be clear and working properly to keep water away from the building. Other things we come across were broken windows, broken doors, damaged weather stripping. It's good to repair or replace as needed. Maintaining exterior paint in good condition, and wooden frames like the door frame, the window frame, or any other part of the building that's made of wood. Sometimes there's dry rot or wood rot. It's good to remove the damaged sections and repair it. That way it doesn't spread to the rest of the building. Here we've got some nice photos that show downspouts in good repair, vent screens in good repair, paint that's not peeling. Definitely good examples here. No issues of concern there. In this next photo, more good examples. It looks like it's well maintained. Doesn't look like anything needs to be replaced. The next category of common violations would include safety. So it's almost like a review for a quiz. We'll do a little review. Fire extinguishers, best practices. Make sure you've got at least one extinguisher accessible within 75 feet of each unit. Make sure that the fire extinguishers are accessible, that tenants should not have to enter a locked room or a gated area or stairs to access the fire extinguisher. It should be readily accessible. The fire extinguisher should be certified within the past 12 months. Basically, it should be certified annually. Another option would be to make sure that your fire extinguisher was purchased within the last 12 months and properly charged. You could always start off with a brand new one. In the first picture here, you'll see that the fire extinguisher cabinet has a tool on the right side. It's magnetic, it's sticking to the side of the cabinet. That tool can be used to break the glass and gain access to the fire extinguisher, which is in the locked cabinet. In the middle picture, it's a little bit easier to see that the gauge should be in the green. That way it shows that it is properly charged and that the tag attached to it indicates that it has been certified within the last 12 months. And of course, with your smoke alarms, make sure that those are properly functioning as well. In the next slide, we'll see pictures of other smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors. Those can be tested, definitely tested. Make sure that it works. Sometimes the batteries go out. And also too, in that third picture, you'll see, looks like the permit for the elevator. It's got an expiration date. Make sure that it has been inspected and checked to be current and in good repair, functioning properly. They've got inspectors just for the elevators. In this picture, we've definitely talked about hot water heaters. These have braces. These have discharge piping. These have temperature pressure relief valves. These have exhaust vent piping installed. So no issues here. These look good. Next category would be structural safety. We've definitely talked about handrails, guardrails, and some of the other categories of common violations that we come across. The main point here with a lot of these is to make sure that it's in good repair, to be proactive about your inspections of these components and to schedule the proper technician or have it repaired or replaced as necessary so that it's not a violation. In this next picture here, you'll see that it is maintained in good repair. The guardrails look good, the handrails look good, the supports for the balconies look good. Everything here just looks about good. More examples of good pictures. The wood looks good. I don't see any wood rot or damage there. It doesn't look like it's sagging. And of course, when I walked on these structures, there was no sagging either. It felt very sturdy, felt very secure. The guardrails, they were installed securely so that they held in place, even when you tried to move them a little bit. Let's see. Just another picture of good examples. So that's the goal. Maintaining things in good repair. So moving on from structural safety, looks like our last category should be vermin and pest exclusion. Some of this we covered a little bit earlier, but best practices, again, it's kind of like a review. Repair or replace any broken windows. Seal all openings around pipes, cables, or wires that penetrate through the building's walls or roof or ceiling. Ensure gaps between entry doors are properly eliminated, whether that means adding additional weather stripping or having a technician come over, look at it, and make recommendations as to maybe a better fitting door. So those are just some of the examples. In this particular picture here, you can see that the piping penetrations through the building are sealed nicely. Probably no mice or rats or any other vermin or pests will get through that piping penetration. On the left side, there's another picture of piping penetrations through the building wall. On the right side picture, you'll see some vent screens on this garage door. They're intact, and also too, the garage door is flush with the floor, so there's no gaps down there for vermin or pests to crawl through. More good examples of vent screens in good repair, as well as other wall openings that have been sealed. And this last one is a type of mesh that can be used in other gaps, whether it be like roof tiles. Some of those roof tiles, when they sit, they have curves and slight openings. So when those openings are stuffed with this type of material, that helps to prevent the intrusion of vermin and other pests. So that was kind of fast. Hope you enjoyed the ride. Are there any questions at this time? Or comments?
I've got two things. One question, one comment.
All right.
First, the comment, great presentation.
Oh, thank you. Second
is the question.
Sure.
My water heater in my building is down in the parking garage.
Okay.
Good. It's in a cabinet, but my contractor screwed the door shut.
Oh, wow.
So we need to get those screws out, right?
I would recommend that because you're going to want to check on your water heater and make sure it's, not needing any attention, not needing a service call.
Right.
So
I mean, it's fairly new, but also, is it recommended we get a recirculation pump?
Well, we always refer to the manufacturer's recommendations and install guidelines. So if that particular make or model calls for that, then sure, we always recommend going with the manufacturer's guidance.
So basically, I was thinking of adding one to the plumbing so that when they turn on the water, they don't waste a bunch of water to get hot water.
Sure.
You have a plumbing circuit that goes, around the units with return, and you could circulate the hot water.
It sounds good. But I'm not a certified plumber, so
It's not,
I
it's not
also
required or anything.
I definitely also recommend checking with a certified contractor plumber.
And what about on-demand water heaters? Are those allowed?
I believe so.
Okay.
I don't see why not.
All right, cool. Thank you. That's all I had.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, first I want to thank you guys for doing this webinar. Kind of clarified a few things that I wasn't sure of, so thank you. My question is, annually, we get this fire inspection from the fire department.
Nice.
And you mentioned earlier that you're doing things for them or for other Daly City, I guess, department. Does that now that have you taken that responsibility, or will we be subjected to annual inspection as well? Yeah,
We're not trying to step in the place of any of the city fire departments or the county fire department for that matter. They've got their specialty, they've got their jurisdiction. They definitely take the lead when it comes to fire safety issues. And so for their requirements, if they need to continue conducting annual inspections of your property, I'm pretty sure they're going to keep coming out to do that for you. And of course, our particular office, County of San Mateo Environmental Health Services, with all these different agencies, there could be some overlap. And so it might feel like a repetition, but sometimes we're looking at things from different point of views and for our needs and from our code sections. And unfortunately, sometimes there's a little bit of overlap, but I think both offices will continue to keep doing the inspections that need to be done for their offices.
Yeah, also, Eris, I just like to add on that. When the fire department comes, they have a more thorough, they check the sprinkler systems, the alarm sounds, and that sort of thing. We work in support of their work. So when we're there, we check the fire extinguishers and the egress doors and those sorts of things. Also, what do we check? Just that
Smoke
general
detectors.
safety. So we work together with them, but the fire department has a more in-depth inspection as far as the requirements. So we do have, like Eric said, some overlap, but the fire department is more in depth.
Okay, all right, thank you. Yeah, that answers my question.
You're welcome. Great question. Thank you. Crickets. We are definitely open to any other questions. If not now, in the future, I believe our next slide posts our contact information. Oh, is there another question?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, like in my property, I think I got a few more violations that I have to correct. And I think I got an extension to do it, and completed the one that we could do because they're the interior ones. But the outside ones, kind of off and on, my repair guy kind of will go in there, do a little bit of work, then it will rain. So kind of his work kind of either get ruined or has to be postponed. So because of the inclement weather we're having, I did request for an extension to complete it. I just don't want to do it just hush. So I don't know to how long, but he's progressing, but he has to stop because he can't continue when it's wet. You got to be dry, something like that. When he seals things. So I guess like how much patience do you guys have?
I'd like to think we're pretty patient.
Oh, okay.
So,
That's good.
If your request is reasonable and we can see that you're making a good faith effort to address the issues that need to be corrected, we are definitely more than happy to communicate and work with you as
Okay.
to providing extensions that are reasonable.
Okay. That sounds good to me. Thank you.
You're welcome. Great questions. Thank you guys for raising those. And as you can see here, we've got our contact information listed on the slide. So if ever you want to reach out to us, feel free. And if we can't help you, we'll refer you to the other agency that has that specialty or that know-how. And hopefully the team effort will help us all reach the solution and answer that's needed. Oops.
It looks like we have one more question in the chat.
Okay.
Oh, looks like James just answered it.
Oh, good. Let's see if there's any other slides here aside from this one. Oh, we saw that one already. And I think that was it. Thank you again for all taking your time to spend your afternoon with us and hear our presentation. And again, if you have questions later or need to reach out for any questions or clarifications, feel free. We are more than happy to help you out in any way we can. Thank you.
Thank you very much too.
You're welcome.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right.
Thank you, Eris. Thank you, team.
Thanks, team, for handling the chat and jumping in as needed.
I think there's still a few questions on the chat.
Okay.
Yes, there's one question on the chat about contractors. So feel free, team.
Oh, okay. I see it. Hi, this is Helen with Environmental Health. It says, do you have a list of recommended contractors for different violations? No, we do not have a list of contractors. We don't have we don't make those kinds of recommendations.
There's also the Contractor State Licensing Board. I love that website because it should have an up-to-date list of contractors within the state of California about their specialty, what type of licenses that they hold, and which of those licenses are currently active, whether it be a plumbing license, building license, general engineering license. There's so many licenses. And what's nice about the Contractors License State Board website is that it also lists the key personnel of that particular company. And it also lists what is their current workers' compensation coverage. Very important, because if an accident occurs on your property and someone gets hurt or property is damaged, it's good to know that your particular contractor performing the work on site is following the right procedure and has all the right financial mechanisms in place. It protects them. It protects you as the property owner. Too many stories I've heard about a person performing work for a property owner, and then something bad happens, and it finds out that the repair person is uninsured. Oh my gosh, that just opens up a whole nother world of complication and issues to deal with. So that's something I would highly recommend to just about anyone I come across when it comes to hiring a contractor to do work for you, is to make sure that that they are properly and currently actively licensed, certified, and have the proper financial mechanisms in place, such as insurance, workers' compensation, stuff like that. Good question. Thank you for raising that. And of course, to the fellow teammates, if there's any other suggestions you want to mention, feel free. I notice the other participants on the line, we still got maybe 4. So definitely open to any more last minute questions or ideas you may have.
I would just like to thank everyone for showing up and joining us for this presentation.
Yes, I'm sure we'll have more. Plus, we've got a video in the works. Maybe the video presentation will also end up on our website. That way, it's always available.
Thank you again.
You're
Bye-bye.
welcome. Bye-bye. Have a great day.
I'm leaving.
I appreciate all the information. Have a wonderful,
Anytime.
take care. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Have a
Bye-bye.
great day. I think that's a wrap. What do you guys
Okay.
think?
I'd like to confirm with Cynthia that we can leave the Zoom if it's okay.
Sounds good?
Sure, it was good to keep the contact information up on the screen. We still have one participant in case
Okay.
they would like to ask a question or still have some time.
Move the slide. There we go.
And there's a contact phone number in the chat as well.
Okay.
I think that's it. We're good. Thank you.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thanks again,
Cynthia.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Y'all have a good day.